Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP Podcast, episode number 300. Looks like we made it. Looks like we
We
made
made
it.
it.
We beat the odds to get. I don't know my 90s country as well as I should, apparently. Shania Twain. I do that part. Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. I want to introduce the boys here as normal, the beautiful boys, of course. We'll save the surprise for the last, just in case there's somebody out there in audio land who doesn't know what's going on here. But first up, we got Brandon.
Hello, everyone. How are we today?
Brandon, you're drinking some absolutely disgusting beer right now.
Dude.
Could you please?
Listen, I just want to
Could you
say
please
I want to bring it up. I swear to God, maybe it was just the alcoholic in me. Maybe my last name is like exceeding me right now. But I swear to God, everyone was like, "Let's get beers, let's celebrate." And then I pop into the show with two. How many ounces is this? 225 full ounces of Michelob Ultra. Two of them sitting here at my desk, and I come up and they're like, "Oh, well, we're just drinking water because we got a headache, and we're just drinking tea because we're
First of all, I never said anything about drinking beer, but I'm all about it. But if you're gonna drink beer for a celebration, don't drink piss water that makes me want to,
dude,
do things I can't say on YouTube.
see, that's a real friend right there, Dave. I don't even care if it's alcoholic. The fact that you have a can with you right now and you're cracking it makes your boy Ben's. Ben's leaving. All right. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to drink. But what I'm saying is that it was like I didn't know that we were wearing suits to the party, and then I come in a t-shirt type of thing. Okay, all right. I didn't hear that, but Ben, I saw you crack the beer.
All day IPA here, buddy. Founders.
Dude, how could you
Don't ever
drink
call me a
that
bad friend again.
skunk water piss? How could you drink it? It just tastes like pine cones.
You've got 50 ounces of beer there, and this one has more flavor and alcohol than both of yours combined. Dave, how are you? And what are you drinking?
Yeah, happy
I'm
300.
good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm drinking a coffee blonde daily grind. It's
Oh
like
my
a
God.
lager with like hints of coffee in it. I like my weird craft beer, and this is up there. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to everyone watching and in the chat because we made it to 300. So
Made it to
did.
300. I am drinking a beer, and I'm also drinking coffee, so I think that basically puts me on your level, Dave.
there we go.
I think we're in the same spot. And of course, from the dead, Phil, R.I.P. Phil, first of all, hello. Greetings. Second of all, Phil is, for those who don't know, for the uninitiated, Phil was one of the OGs of this podcast many, many moons ago. Life got crazy. Things got mixed up. But we asked him to join us for 300, and he said, maybe. And then he said yes. I wouldn't miss it for the world. What's up, Phil? Tell us about, I don't know, the last 2.5 years you haven't been around.
Oh man, so it's good to be back. First off, for 2.5 years, God, it seems so long.
I don't actually know how long it's been.
It's probably been longer. I've been not doing much. I've been working. I cry a lot. There's definitely a lot of crying.
Yeah.
Just I've been off meeting celebrities. I don't know if you can see all those pictures behind me of me with
Those look like
celebrities
pops.
back there.
Those look like Funko Pops.
No, the
Oh,
other
you
side.
gotta
The
go
other
to the
side.
other side.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of my new thing. I go and
Is that
meet
Topanga
celebrities
back
all the
there?
time. Yeah. I sent that picture to my wife after it was taken, and she said, "I feel betrayed." Of all the people I've met, that's the one that she kind of got the most hurt about. But yeah, that's pretty much it. In my free time, I travel around and meet celebrities.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
The
glad to
chat
have
is-
you back, man.
Yeah.
it's
absolutely.
really good to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, then you'll die again next week, and it'll be fine.
I mean, maybe not. I'm going to be working closer to home now, so we can
Don't
talk
you
about
tease
this.
me like that.
I mean,
Don't tease me.
it was made official today that that's going to be my spot. So
Oh,
Something
wow.
might be
Okay.
rubbing the top of my desk, and it ain't my knee.
The top of your desk or the bottom of your desk?
I don't know, dude.
Both.
I kind of crawled up on top like a sandworm.
You should get that checked out, man.
Chat's blowing up. We usually don't really read a lot of chat, or I mean, we read it, but we don't always interact and everything. But I just want to shout out names: Compulsive Nerd, Edward Walton, Alex Dies Twice, Ed Casty, Boogeyman, Hulk Hogan, of course, as always, is in here. Tom Lockmort. Thanks, guys, for showing up. I'm sure there's many more of you out there that haven't popped in the voice or to the chat as well. The most important question we've gotten so far, we've got a lot of congrats on 300. We appreciate that, of course. Thank you very much. We're happy to be here. I've only missed one episode. Phil has missed a few more than that.
I've been
Like 110. Yeah.
We got two things here I want to address. We got Lockmort says, how many tokens for private? I think he might be typing in the wrong window. He might have a different window open.
I could
wants
hook
a
him up for
private show.
one token. One
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 token?
token.
Yep.
Introductory rate.
It'll be
How much
Dustin's
is the
privates,
token?
but you know, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what do tokens go for these days? $6? I don't know.
Something
Six
like that.
slashes.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about. So
I don't
I'm gonna say
either.
Yeah,
I think they're
I just,
NFTs.
you know.
Don't worry about it.
What Lockmore wants, Lockmore gets. You know.
that's right. At least you know. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
We've got Tom in here says, "Holy shit! Remember Phil from the days driving around listening to this weird little gaming podcast, which I thought was called Handsome Fandom at the time."
Phil, dude, Tom was there. Tom was there.
Oh, then he's heard all the things I've said. That's really why I'm not here for a while. I was canceled for quite a long time.
He finally has kind of rebuilt his image and is able to make public appearances again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Remember that thing you said about Sonic's teeth?
The Sonic
Oh,
cum
man.
mouth thing. Yeah, that finally caught up to you.
You know, that didn't age well. No.
I
you
think
just-
it did. I talk about it all the time.
Phil,
just
a
had
few
to-
weeks ago, Dave called everyone who works at Digital Foundry pedophiles.
No
As a
kidding.
child
And a-
rapist, actually. But
And child rape.
It was
that's
way
right.
more harsh than
Is there a
that,
difference?
okay?
Boy.
yeah, you missed a lot. Yeah,
You missed
we
a
have like
lot.
a turf war going with Digital Foundry.
They don't know about it, by the
Brandon
way.
might play Scorn on shrooms for some reason.
I did see
Yeah.
that. I saw
Yeah.
that. There was definitely a challenge or a something, yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
also Dave, former Ubisoft shill, now Nintendo shill. He kind of did the flopperoo.
Yeah, I platinum
so-
Skull and Bones.
He
that was
platinum-
I bought
That
it.
Yeah,
I also bought it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, Phil. I'm really.
It's
Is it
gone
still
down
in
in price quite a bit since I bought it too.
Have you played it, Phil? That's the question.
Oh no, I've bought it. I've just bought it.
Is it still in the wrapping, Phil?
It might be out of the wrapping. I think I bought it used on eBay.
Okay. All right.
So I saved $6 and it wasn't wrapped. But it's on the shelf.
If
It's
you
bought.
waited a week, you could have saved 40. But
I was really getting up to date on my Assassin's Creed by playing Black Flag. So I was really into I'm 10 years behind on Assassin's Creed, but
Right.
then it got me real pirate excited. I was in the Bahamas too, so I bought it. Need to play it.
Just wait for Yakuza, man.
Oh, oof, can't wait. I've already
Phil,
started playing other Yakuza waiting. Yeah.
Nice. Phil, I wanted to give you an extra special thank you for being here. Not only because you're dead. By the way, I don't know if you even know that. That's a thing every time we mention you in any capacity on the show, we always say like rest in peace.
Yeah, and I used to see it in Discord a lot, but then I got way behind on Discord, so
Yeah. It's not like a linear, you don't have to catch up to be able to participate in the Discord. You can just top in anytime.
yeah, I would do that, but then I'd forgot that I popped in, and then I wouldn't go back to like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll get better.
But I want to give you an extra special thank you because you actually you not only are here, you made the time for us, but you also bought a microphone just for this appearance because
I did.
Brandon stole your old one.
That's true.
Dude.
It was a gift. It was a gift.
Sure.
He never
Yeah.
asked for it back. I would
never
have sent
asked
it
for it
back to
back.
him today if we would have asked, okay?
Nope, I was all in on this as long as time would allow it.
Appreciate it. Compulsive Nerd says, I thought I had trophy sickness. I don't know if that's in reference to the playing Skull and Bones thing or not, but did anybody
It is
know?
amazing that Dave did
I
that.
think that's what
Oh,
they're
Dave got the
referring to.
platinum.
And yeah, so just to clarify, it wasn't a trophy thing. I actually I played the game because I lost a bet last year. Yeah.
He lost a
He
resolution.
lost a
And then
couple bets.
You know, they say commit to the bit, so I started playing it, and all I had to do was play through the campaign. So what, 20 hours or so? But I really wanted to get the platinum because I was committing to the bit, and I did it. So
That's right.
For Phil and anybody else who doesn't know, we started doing a couple years ago. Dave brought it to us and said we should do gaming New Year's resolutions, and I was like, I don't know, but sure, why not? It's our show. It's not my show. It's our show. Let's do it. So we did gaming resolutions, and then it turned into halfway through the year. Okay, well, if you don't finish it, here's what you have to do. and then it turned into challenges, and now it's pretty much like I'm making a bet with you, and if I don't have to do it, I have a punishment I have to do. So we've turned our gaming resolutions, like a thing that's normally meant for self-improvement, into a competition, essentially, at this point.
That's awesome. I love it.
And it's looking grim for me, boys. It's looking real grim. I'm riding the line. Every single month I'm riding the line.
Yeah, I remember earlier this month you said you weren't going to wait till the end of the month to fulfill your goals, and then
Gee, look at that. It's the end of October almost. Call of Duty's coming out Friday, though.
there you go.
And a new Sonic.
What?
So, yep. There's a new Sonic
good
game coming
reviews,
out.
too.
You might have,
Sanic?
be
For
prepared
anybody-
for more, mouthfuls, if you will.
For anybody who may be uninitiated or unaware, this is the Handsome Phantom podcast, the HP podcast, as it were. This is episode 300. We talk about video games and stuff like that. We appreciate you hanging out here. You can also, if you want to help support us, go over to patreon.com/handsomephantom to get in on the action. You get it in for as little as $1 a month, where you can support us to get ad-free shows, get the audio a day early, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't want to spend any money, you cheap bastards, you can go over to Discord and hang out with us for free at handsomephantom.com/Discord, where you can be initiated into the presence of everyone here but Phil, because Phil forgets to go to
sometimes.
Discord.
Dude. Dude,
Phil,
don't be
okay.
roasting him. He's
Don't-
on the show. Jesus Christ.
Wait, hold on. From Phil, let's see. When is the last time?
I'm gonna say it's
Phil
at least
posted
3
in the
years ago.
Discord.
2.5 years ago. My guess.
Probably.
Give me a second here.
Dude, why is he catching so many strays? Phil, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm glad I'm here too. I haven't, looked this.
Whoa,
forward
whoa,
to something
we're
in a
all
long time.
wrong. We're all wrong. The last message Phil sent in the Discord was February 18th of 2023.
Wow.
Okay.
The previous message before that was May 17th, 2022.
What
so,
was
like,
the
I'll give him
message?
some credit. I already closed it. I don't know. It wasn't important, apparently.
I was probably answering whatever I was talking about in 22. In 23.
Replying to himself.
Oh, what a gentleman. What a
He's like, who
gentleman.
tagged me? He's like, hey, somebody tagged me, but I don't know who it was. They're like, that was 8 months ago, Phil. You guys want to talk about some video game news?
Video games.
Yes.
This is a show with news in it most of the time. We'll get to it. Number one, kind of relevant to what we were talking about here. Ubisoft has canceled Assassin's Creed Shadows early access. This comes from GameSpot, and it says, if Assassin's Creed Shadows had stayed on the schedule, it would have been released in just under a month. Instead, Shadows was pushed back to an early 2025 release. Now, players who purchase the Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition won't be getting early access to the game. As reported by Insider Gaming, which, by the way, Insider Gaming's news article on this was down last time I checked. It sent me to a 404, which is interesting. Ubisoft confirmed the cancellation of Assassin's Creed Shadows early access during a Discord Q&A session. The company also iterated it will not be moving forward with its plans of implementing season passes. Consequently, the price of Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition will be dropping from $280 to $230. It'll still come with a steelbook, art book, statue, all that good stuff. There's been word, we don't know this for sure, this is just rumor, that Ubisoft Quebec may be adding... Quebec.
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 Fucking.
Is that right? Are you toying with me, Dave?
No,
Is it Quebec?
It's like the Ubisoft thing. Like everybody says it differently.
Okay,
Quebec
fair enough.
is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ubisoft Quebec may be adding a co-op mode to Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Why?
Presumably this will allow two players to fight side by side. I don't need to read any more. Let's talk about the fact that, Assassin's Creed Shadows, first, getting a lot of heat for the whole culture war thing out there that we don't really try to engage in on this show. Then it gets pushed back to January. And then on top of that, early access has been revoked from the people who paid for the bigger bundle. Dave, you are the biggest Ubi shill here. We'll kick it up.
There's no bathroom break in the show, Brandon.
You underestimate me, Dave.
Dave, kick it off. What do you have to think about this? What to say about this?
Yeah, it's kind of odd to me. First off, that co-op thing, I would take that with a massive grain of salt. As you highlighted, Ben, it's a rumor, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me to delay your game for quality issues and then throw in a co-op mode with 4 months until your second launch date. So I don't know. I'll believe that when I see it. But I think the early access thing is, if you're having enough problems with a game like this to have to delay it, then it kind of makes sense to delay or cancel an early access. But the bigger question for me is, why does Assassin's Creed need early access? And it's also interesting to see that Ubisoft values this early access at $50 for a couple days early access, which is, to me, it's absurd. It's just wild. For a single player game like this, to get it a few days early, the $50 difference it's nuts. But it's I'll get in a little bit more to this when we get in our next story, but it does kind of signal something weird going on at Ubisoft. But if I was pre-ordering this game a collector's edition, which I did consider doing because that statue is really cool, this wouldn't really bother me that much. Like, early access to me, it's not. For like Call of Duty, that's one thing, but for Assassin's Creed, not a huge selling point for me. So I don't think this is that big of a deal, and it shouldn't come as that much of a surprise.
Phil, what do you have to say about this? I mean, I know you're really into the Assassin's Creed franchise, playing the newest, hottest hit, Black Flag.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. How do you?
I also bought Mirage, but then I sold it before
nice.
I opened it. Yeah.
You sold it. Okay. I need to play it still, actually. Yeah.
It was like a buy two, get one free. I don't know. I think just Assassin's Creed in general has gone through this whole cycle where they're trying to delay them and put more space in between the games. So I was kind of surprised when they announced that closely to the last release, even though Mirage was a little slower and smaller. I mean, I don't know. I think they need to let these cook a little bit longer. I think they need to make sure that they have a solid release date. And I mean, how much earlier was the early access even going to be? Just a few days, or were we talking weeks?
It's probably it was
3
probably
or
like
4
3
days.
to 5 days. Yeah.
That's absurd. First off, that is absurd. $50 for 3 or 4 days. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who asked for that, who wants that, but
Dude,
I'm not surprised it's
Blame
being delayed.
Forza. Blame
Yeah.
Forza.
I blame Forza for everything.
dude, come on, man. Take it easy.
But yeah, not surprised. I think they need to just give these games a little more time before they put them out into the world.
Yeah. Bando.
Yeah, I mean, Dave asked a good question. Why would we need this sort of early access thing? And it's a really simple answer: money. That's exactly why Ubisoft did it. And I think that this game has so much stank swirling around it. It's like that fucking guy from Peanuts that's got the little flies above his head. What's it? Pigpen?
Linus, Pigpen.
Yeah, he's got some stank emanating. So yeah, it is definitely weird. This whole early access thing caught on because people pay for it. And we think it's ridiculous, but at the end of the day, people pay money to play games 3 days early, even if it's not a Call of Duty, just because they can. So that's not going away. In fact, I think it's probably going to get worse. But the fact that this game has had so many road bumps, so many speed bumps, so many issues, I just cannot imagine that this is going to be a good launch for them. I think this is going to be another huge L. Dave kind of alluded to it. We're going to be talking about some more Ubisoft ick here in a little bit, but a lot of bad things are going on with that company right now. And, I said it a couple weeks ago, but they're going to have to do some restructuring and some layoffs because I think this is going to severely damage them going into next year. Even if the delay will improve the game, I still think there's too much going on. The signs are too bad at this point, and the writing kind of is on the wall for me. So,
Yeah, there's definitely something going on there. I mean, you've had multiple other games delayed. We had Star Wars Outlaws come out and not be well received, even though by all accounts it's a decent game.
sure.
You have Skull and Bones, which I don't really know that you can attribute that to the larger picture of the company, of the publisher, because it seems like it had its own set of problems. But certainly, where there's a problem, there should also be someone that's responsible for it, and that seems to be
Right.
Ubisoft. So, yeah, a lot of weird stuff. And you mentioned a lot of weird stuff, or I mentioned a lot of weird stuff, and you guys mentioned this story. The train's coming, guys. Just get ready. We mentioned this other story, the one about Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. I had actually just put this link in there because I was just going to make this all one story, so I don't have a stamp for it or anything. But let me read this too. Twisted Voxel says that Ubisoft has repeatedly disbanded the team at Ubisoft Montpellier, which was responsible for the development of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. During a video on Origami YouTube channel, French journalists claim that the Ubisoft has disbanded. I'm getting old. This text is too small for me to read. Apparently, they've banded the development team behind the game. Apparently, the game did not meet sales expectations and was cited as the reason behind the decision. According to him, the game's fate had already been decided a few weeks after its release. He mentioned that by spring 2024, it became clear after releasing a few DLCs and cosmetics, it would be the end for the title. Furthermore, he shared that a few members of the core development team fought to get a Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown sequel greenlit. However, it did not happen, and the team pushed for 2 expansions, hoping to eventually convince higher-ups for a sequel. However, the game needed more staff to help on the company needed more staff to help on other projects that had better sales potential, such as other major upcoming projects Beyond Good and Evil 2, which where the hell is that game? As per the source, another justification the team received from higher ups was that releasing a sequel would cannibalize the long-term sales of The Lost Crown. Now, boys, I played The Lost Crown. I don't think I finished it, but I played a good chunk of it, like probably 20 hours, and I did struggle with it too, but it was really good. Really, really good. It's a shame it didn't sell better, but Brandon, oh, sorry, Phil, you looked like you were going to say something there.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you. I probably played about 20 hours, didn't finish it either, but put a lot of time into it.
I don't even think that game is supposed to take 20 hours, but it took.
No, it's hard as fuck though.
yeah, it really.
I don't
is.
backtrack well either, so I would get lost and kind of piss me off.
Well, Brandon, so you seem like you had something else to say about weird decisions, and is this another red flag? They're shutting down a whole team in charge of a game. Dude, seems like they put some people in some other spots, but that probably means like 3 or 4 executives, in my opinion.
Well, absolutely. I mean, let's just be honest, boys. Okay, so I got 2 things pulled up while you were talking here. Ubisoft has had issues with games getting middling scores, right? That's part of the problem. And not that scores mean everything. A game can still be good even if critics, you could still enjoy it. And we've talked about that many times. But Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, a game I've not played, but I've heard very high praise about. Let's see on OpenCritic right now. 87 is the average, and 95% of critics recommend it, okay? And just with a quick Google search, now I can't substantiate all these numbers, but just with a quick Google search, 15 million in revenue from that game. Does that sound really high? It sounds pretty high, but I know it sold well, right? I'm not going to look too much into these numbers, but what I'm saying is critically acclaimed, seems to be it did commercially pretty well. This move just confuses me, and it makes me kind of question the continual tone deafness of Ubisoft and what they prioritize. If you have a studio that had a successful game that was critically and commercially successful, okay, in a game like this Prince of Persia, I'm not saying it was cheap to develop, but I would imagine it would be much cheaper with the type of game it is than other Ubisoft games. Does that seem like a safe assumption to make, boys?
I would think so.
So what I'm saying, and I know I'm making some assumptions here, but it just seems like, why would you not bet on the studio that is putting out good work and has a high potential to continue to raise revenue for the overall company? I don't get it, man. It's like we're pumping money and giving more time to these studios that have stink around them, like I mentioned in the last thing, and then we're taking teams and disbanding them that have had incredibly successful games. And it seems like there is an insane amount of, I don't know if it's just boardroom confusion and not ground people actually getting to make decisions, but something is awry. And I know we said before, Tencent was looking at offers. I don't know if that's really a good solution. I never am about Tencent, but it seems like there almost needs to be a complete restructure of how this company determines what's good and what's not. Because in my eyes, they're kind of floundering. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, boys, but this seems like an Ubisoft that is just gasping for air with holes in its chest. So this is just weird for me, boys. And as someone who didn't play the game, I obviously can't very passionately speak about it, but I know people have talked very highly of it. And to see that team kind of get shit on when they have the potential to make more is just confusing to me, especially when Ubisoft really needs a win right now. As far as, from where I stand, anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. The game was $60. You said you saw 15 million. Is that what you thought?
Yeah, that was just a quick. That was literally a super quick Google search. So whatever came up first, I didn't.
Yeah, that comes up a lot.
250,000 copies.
Yeah, 15 million comes up a lot, but it's hard to find what it costs to make. Skull and Bones cost 200 million.
There's no way.
Insane.
There is no way that Skull and Bones only cost $200 million. That game was in development for 19 years. There is no way. Oh, Prince of Persia was $40? It's currently more than $40 right now.
It was more than
So
40.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that it was a financial failure. Critically, it was received really well, and people who played it said they really liked it. I played the demo. It's on my list of games to get, but my issue with the game was it wasn't the Prince of Persia game that I wanted.
I was thinking that all day. That's exactly, yep.
I grew up with, the 3D Prince of Persia, Warrior Within, with the Disturbed soundtrack. Like, how could you not remember that, right? Prince of Persia is coming back great, and we get a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania. I know the game roots go back to 2D, but come on, that's not really what we were waiting for. So for this game to be a financial failure is not something that's surprising to me. Well, there's one thing from the article that kind of lends itself to what you're saying, Brandon, and I like when they say that a sequel will cannibalize long-term sales of the original. That is utter BS to me. Like, if your game is successful enough to get long-term sales, then it's successful enough to be worthy of an investment for a sequel. So that to me is just you're bullshitting your employees. So if we're thinking something's up, then I think that kind of lends credence to it. But looking at this from like a bigger picture, and going back to the previous story, 2024 is a good year for Ubisoft in one respect. We've got the disaster that was the money sink that was Skull and Bones that's behind us. We've met our contractual obligation on Outlaws, and the game hasn't sold well, but that's behind us. And Avatar, I don't know if that came out this year or last year, but anyways, those three big projects are behind them. So what I see Ubisoft doing is scaling down and focusing, which is what I think they need to do. Focus on Assassin's Creed. Give us some more Division. Focus on the things you're good at. Far Cry, people will say what they will, but that franchise sells. So, I see this is Ubisoft is probably scaling back a bit, which is something I think they really need to do. And time will tell what, exactly happens, but hopefully this is what that means. And I feel really bad for people who might lose their job at Montpellier Studio, but I think this is probably for the best. And there's still other balls in the air. You mentioned the Beyond Good and Evil and some other stuff like that. But if Ubisoft can kind of take a bit of a step back, then I think they'll be for the better. But yeah.
15 million in revenue. Okay, so just a quick aside. Nerd in chat is saying on PSN, Lost Crown is $40. On Steam, it's $40. And then you're right, but that's what it is right now. Like, it's $23 on Amazon right now. But when it came out, I'm finding conflicting reports. Some places are saying it was $60, and some places are saying it was $50. So maybe it was cheap, $10 cheaper on PC. I think it was only on Epic to begin with. But I'm definitely, like, now it's $40 because it's Ubisoft and it didn't sell well. But it was definitely at least $50, according to IGN, when it released on the Epic Game Store. It was $50. So just putting that out there. Yeah. Phil, anything more to say about Ubisoft or Prince of Persia? Or
yeah, I think just listening to Dave rattle off all those games, I've played all of them and I've finished none of them. So I think that's the thing with their games right now. They just don't have staying power. I enjoyed my time with Outlaws. I enjoyed my time with Avatar and with Prince of Persia. I didn't feel the need to finish those games before moving on to something else. So enjoyed them. They're the most okay-ish games I've played in a while.
That's why you need that multiplayer to keep people sticking around and spend extra money.
The battle pass on everything, right?
Right?
Yeah.
And I did pay for whatever the big bundle on Avatar to get all the DLC, and I'll never get to it probably.
Phil, this is a long-running joke with you, but do you think there will ever be a time in your life when you don't have to buy the biggest thing for every game and buy every game? I know you've gotten better.
I've gotten better. The problem with Avatar specifically was I was on the high from the movie, and so I just wanted all of the Avatar at that point. Yeah. We've already gotten that point a little bit. There are many collector's editions. I think Avengers really stopped it for me a little bit when I paid $200 and some for the collector's edition of that. They came with a Steve Rogers statue and a game that is not worth, the Angel Soft that I have in my closet right now. So
Right.
It's that really put an end to me wasting money on collector's editions.
Who would buy that game?
I'm sorry. What is Angel Soft?
It's toilet paper. It's toilet paper.
It's a brand of toilet paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Avengers broke my heart and my wallet.
Yeah, but I can understand that one even for it's a bad game because like Marvel Avengers is really meaningful to you. So why not?
It is, and the statue that I have on it's a cool statue, and there's a Hulk bobblehead, and but it was a disappointing game.
Let's move on to the next story here. I spent way too long ripping on Dave's favorite company.
Former.
Former. Oh, right. That's Nintendo
allegedly.
now. That's Nintendo now. I forgot. The Verge reports that Analogue's 4K Nintendo 64 launches next year for $249. It won't make it out in 2024 as originally planned, but Analogue is finally ready to share the details on its take on a Nintendo 64. The Analogue 3D will launch early next year, the company says Q1, and will cost $249.99. It comes in either black or white, and pre-orders kick off on October 21st at 11 a.m., which was this morning. In addition to the timing and the price, Analogue also released the first images of the console. First announced at the beginning of the year, Analogue 3D is a modern take on the N64, similar to previous Analogue consoles, covering the NES, SNES, Sega Genesis, and Game Boy. The new console can upscale classic games to 4K and includes multiple display modes to mimic the look and feel of a CRT display. Analogue says it's designed with a bespoke purpose-built 4K upscaler. The company says Analogue 3D is 100% compatible with the N64's cartridge library. It's also region-free. And it uses FPGA technology, which allows it to function like the original console. Which is, by the way, the N64 is actually really difficult to emulate, or at least most of the emulators don't work real well. So this just allows you to play it with new hardware. It also supports Bluetooth, has 4 original controller ports, 2 USB ports, and an SD card slot. And there's a new operating system dubbed 3D OS. It does not come with a controller, but 8BitDo has created an updated version of the N64 gamepad, minus the third prong, that is being sold separately for $40. Phil, before the show, you were talking about, you said you were on the website trying to pre-order one right now.
Yeah, I got pretty far, too. It does need a credit card. I was hoping I could just Apple Pay it, and then it's like, it's not like real money.
The way you didn't have to get up out of your chair.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel the same way sometimes. I'm like, well, if I spend that, like I have $20. If I spend this, it's not real.
Right.
Like, it's not like I pulled out my credit card.
No, if I have to get my wallet, then I've spent money.
Right.
If I could just scan my face, it's not
Right,
real. Like
that's
it just was like, yeah.
Yeah. It's next month's problem. Yeah.
That's right.
Phil, you're excited for this. Do you have any N64 games?
I do. I have a stack. I made sure before when I heard it was being released, and the fact that it's region free is exciting. So I can definitely get some games I might not have played in the past. I will definitely. I looked. The black one is still available. The white one is sold out already for the pre-orders. Wow. So they do have some available, but it seems like it's going fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely something I'm interested in. I've got a lot of old consoles that just don't work anymore, so it's exciting.
Yeah. Dave, does this appeal to you at all?
No. It looks good. And I think the price is reasonable. They had a Super Nintendo thing called the Super NT, which looked silly to me, so it's nice that this actually looks pretty good. But there are just so many N64s kicking around for like $100 that I personally would rather have original hardware. I think some of the upscaling stuff is cool, but I think when you're upscaling first generation 3D stuff, I don't know if it makes it more appealing. So yeah, for me, I personally would rather just have original hardware. So yeah, probably not a sale for me personally.
Brandon, what about you?
N64 is like a complete and total blind spot for me, but what I will say is I agree with Dave, and you guys, this does look really cool. I disagree with Dave a little bit. I think having the new tech with the old tech is a really interesting take on this entire bit, and Analogue has done a really good job with the Analogue Pocket. And what I will say, Phil, is that even if you don't manage to get it this time around, if the Analog Pocket is any indication of how this is going to go, there will be many, many iterations, and there might be cooler iterations. So if you wait, there might even be a crystal version here in about 6 months to 10 months, because that's kind of what happens with the Analog. You never know if there's going to be another one, and if the Pocket is any indication, like there's been a lot, and there's been some really cool ones that I think if I would have jumped on first Analog Pocket. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it right now, but like the point being is that if I would have jumped on with the first one and assumed that there never would be another one, there's been some really cool ones that have come out. So I don't think, and it's possible, I don't want to give you bad advice, but I would imagine that if it's selling out already, that there will be many more iterations of this. And I don't really see that stopping.
So wait for Atomic Purple for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If there's a fucking crystal teal one or like an atomic purple or like, even like a red, like that is the business. So, if I had any N64, if I had any N64 games, I'd definitely be interested. And I know there's a lot of like amazing games that I completely missed out on. But yeah, this is kind of the one to do it with, because even Ben said it. It's like these games don't emulate well. So if you have the collection, this is like the best way to, get it on your TV and be able to hook up Bluetooth. So the ease of access is what's really cool for me. So
Yeah. This one's tough for me because, the Analog, first of all, is a great company. Maybe sometimes a little overpriced, but you get what you pay for. Like, they are good company. They make good stuff. This is awesome because of the upscaling and everything like that. But I have a fully functional N64 literally hooked up right now in my living room.
He does. Yes, he does.
With
He does.
I don't know, like 60-ish games that are a combination of mine and my brother-in-law's old games. And my kids and I and my wife, we get together and play either Mario Kart or Mario Party at least once a month together. Have all sorts of old controllers and everything. And we actually have it hooked up with Eon Gaming, which, full disclosure, my friend Justin runs, but they make an adapter for it that actually slightly smooths out some edges and everything and connects it via HDMI, so it's really nice. So, like, part of me loves the fact that I have this old console that I grew up with. Like, it was literally in my bedroom. Now my kids are playing on it and everything, and I'm like, yeah, but new hardware is cool. I love new hardware.
Right.
Especially when it's cool old hardware for new stuff. So, I don't know.
I don't even want to plug my old one in to see if it works, because if it does, then I don't need it. But
Right.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
So my N64 might work, but I don't want to know.
Yeah. It's just better not to know.
It's just better not to know.
Save
I'm
it
gonna
for a rainy day.
I'm gonna have the dog like kick mine off the shelf or something. Like
Whoops.
maybe.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't do that. It's so cool to have my original one, but
Yeah.
but this is legitimately going to be awesome, and I'm sure, there's features here that I wasn't even expecting. But the fact that the one thing that gets me, and I know you can get wireless adapters for, I think you can get wireless adapters for N64 controllers.
I think.
But the one thing that gets me here is that, like, I could hook up some Bluetooth controllers to this thing and not have to sit 4 feet from the console on the floor.
Dude,
That's the dream right there on
that's
the
the
N64.
coolest part, bro. That legitimately.
Was there wireless for that? I know the Wavebird came out for the GameCube.
Yeah, it might not.
know.
Let me look up wireless N64. Looks like there's some aftermarket ones for
the
sure. obviously.
Wavebird.
Yeah, boy. Love the Wavebird.
There's a wireless one for the Switch. That's the N64. But no, there were no. I don't think there were any first party. There were no first party N64 controllers.
Wavebird was kind of a pioneer.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah. That was awesome. I didn't have to
massive.
sit on the floor anymore. That's amazing. Yep.
yeah. And let me tell you, playing N64 sitting on the floor when you're nearing 40 is not as fun as it was when you were a kid.
Oh,
You're
no.
damn near 40.
per near 40.
hey! I got 4 years to go. Leave me alone. All right.
I've got 3.
Okay. I got
I
3.5
got
actually.
-1.
All these fucking geezers on this podcast. Jesus Christ, what am I doing?
Listen, you either are so old that you actually got to experience the N64 and now you're reliving it, or you're so young that you never touched the N64 and your opinion on the matter has no bearing. So
On the second one, okay, yep. You're right.
Just making sure you knew.
Just for clarity, Brandon,
was subtle.
I grew up with it, and it's one of the weaker ones for me. So I
Whatever.
don't think you're missing too much.
I'm just mad because I had to buy a replacement one a few years ago because I let someone borrow my original N64 and then he went to jail. So I never got that back.
Wonder
You
what
take it to
pawn
jail
shop
with
that's
him?
in.
I don't know. His name
Yeah,
was
what if
Memphis. I should have known he was going to jail probably at some point.
His name was a city.
I lent it into a guy named Diesel.
I've heard that you should never trust a man with two first names, but I didn't know anything about cities.
Yeah. I mean, my mom loved him, so that seemed like it was a good sign that he'd be okay. But
I would trust Post Malone, and his first name is Austin. So there's an exception.
Dude, I
that
swear
seems
to
like a
God,
this
Austin's way different of a name than Memphis.
dude, I swear to God, this motherfucker's name was Columbus. You know what I'm saying? This guy's name was Cincinnati. I swear to God.
All right. The next one. According to Eurogamer, Steam Deck won't have yearly refreshes because it's, quote, not really fair to your customers, says Valve. Valve won't be releasing a Steam Deck console each year because that's kind of really not fair. The handheld PC device will finally be available to purchase in Australia in November. Two of its designers from Valve, Lawrence Yang and another guy I can't pronounce his name, were interviewed by Reviews.org and discussed the trend of yearly hardware refreshes. Quote, it's important to us, and we've tried to really be clear, we're not doing the yearly cadence. We're not going to do a bump every year. There's no reason to do that. And honestly, from our perspective, that's kind of not really fair to your customers to come out with something so soon that's only incrementally better. So we really do want to wait for a generational leap in compute without sacrificing battery life before we ship the real second generation of Steam Deck. But it is something that we're excited about and we're working on. Valve first released the Steam Deck in North America and Europe in 2022, which was followed by the OLED model in 2023. While a Steam Deck 2 is in development, Valve told Eurogamer last year, the technology does not yet exist. Obviously, we'd love to get even more performance in the same power envelope, but that technology doesn't exist yet. That's what I think we'd call a Steam Deck 2.0. Now,
God damn.
guys, this is, first of all, maybe it's just that they can't get a new Steam Deck yet. Like, they can't make a better one. They've just decided, like, I have a Steam Deck. I have the OLED. It's phenomenal. I love it. Whatever. But maybe it's just that they can't make a better one yet. You know, the one we have is really good, but they can't make a better one yet. Or maybe it's that they genuinely, as a company, think that this is anti-consumer, and I respect that. What do you guys think, Brandon?
Ben. No, go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
I was just going to say they've got 2 models out already, and this company never makes anything past the second of anything. So I just don't think they know how to make a third.
That's fair. Honestly, Ben, you said is it pro-consumer or do they just not have the stuff yet? And what I'm saying is that those are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, these motherfuckers don't miss. Like, I don't know what would shake my my faith in Valve at this point, but this is so uncompany-like. It's actually incredible. Now, we know that Valve has a very large, non-traditional company vibe as a whole, and I think that's why they're so fucking successful, is because they're willing to take chances with untraditional methods of business. But if a business could ever look at a company like Valve and learn something, they'd be better off, because they could easily iterate very, very, very incrementally, like Apple, every fucking year, and everyone would buy it. They would make millions of dollars. But the point is that, I don't know. I guess they don't need to, which I guess other companies, like Apple, doesn't need to make as much money as it does. But I don't know, man. This is so cool and so refreshing to see something like this come from a company that is so successful. And I think this is one of the many, many reasons that Valve is far superior and far ahead of its fucking weight class, even at its stature, than many other companies that are just completely tone deaf and are money grubbing, infinite wealth, infinite greed type companies. This is awesome. I don't have a Steam Deck myself, but I was glad to see this. Finally, something pro-consumer, and I think that's really the biggest takeaway from this, is that, why make something better if it's not that much better?
Yeah.
And the normal answer for companies is because of money. But Valve just says, we want to make something better because we want to make it better, and not because we want to make money. and that is a fucking outlier in today's world. So props to Valve. That's all I got to say.
Listen, all you got to do is make one game that changes the entire world and then create a storefront that everyone is forced into using so you get 30% of all their profits, and then you too can do nothing wrong ever again.
Apple did that, dude.
Nor do you have to make games ever again.
That's right.
Fair.
That's right.
Fair.
Anybody else have anything to say about this? Phil, you don't have a Steam Deck, do you?
I don't. I pre-ordered it, but I realized I just don't really love handheld anything. So
Yeah.
my Switch just doesn't get it. It's in the dock all the time.
Yeah. Dave, you're a handheld lover.
Yeah.
Oh my
You got that right,
God.
ass man.
I'd,
No,
I'd let you love on something in your hand over at my place.
got to echo everything Brandon said. The only thing I was confused about is, and I think Benji just kind of answered this in the chat, but like, who is suggesting that any game company do like an iPhone-esque yearly iteration? And I guess according to Benji, is that Chinese handhelds do this. So,
They do.
but even like kind of, and you alluded to it in the story there, but they don't even seem to want to look at mid-generation refreshes. They want to wait for a proper generational refresh or generational leap before they release a new console. So I think that's really good of them, is to not market and trick their customers into buying their console twice, which is what Sony's doing at the moment. But yeah, no, this is good guy Steam, good guy Valve. I like to see this. So yeah.
The
Sorry if you bought a PS5 Pro. Anybody here?
Yeah. The Japanese handheld, or I'm sorry, the Chinese handhelds, the ROG Ally, the whatever the other ones are called, they do like constant upgrades. Nintendo with the Switch, maybe it hasn't been yearly, but they had the original Switch,
How dare
the
you?
better battery life Switch,
How dare you?
They all sucked.
the Switch OLED. They've had 3 in 6 years. So yeah, and they didn't one single time do anything. about
Nintendo
performance.
said, you know what? The original Switch is fantastic in every way, but if you'd like a slightly better screen, then we're going to put this other one over here, and if you want to buy it, then sure. But they didn't make their customers feel like they needed to upgrade. They didn't do anything. They would never do something like that.
They they
Nintendo
came out with the
is
better.
next to godliness, Ben.
They came out with the better battery life one, which is in fairness a better battery life, so quickly in my opinion, because they found out the first one had a hardware flaw that makes it able to be. There's no need to crack it. You can just pirate on it no matter what. And they were
Sticks
like,
are supposed
no, we can't
to
have
drift,
that.
Ben. They're supposed to drift.
Do you guys remember that article where you can shove a Nintendo Joy-Con up your ass and it would still have stick drift?
That story derailed an entire episode, I think. It might have been a couple episodes, but yeah.
Thank you, Vice. Thank you, Vice, for doing the work that nobody else would do.
Well, Ed just said the same thing I said. He said you can call it the better battery switch. Nintendo calls it the good luck hacking this one switch. Derek, who has been constantly every week, maybe even close to every other day, telling us that Switch 2 is about to be announced, says Switch 2 being announced next week. Get hype.
Get hyped, baby.
Derek, I no longer trust your lies.
It's happening,
The
bro.
first week he said that, like 6 weeks ago, I was like, "Fuck, he's onto something." This is good. I was checking the IGN like every single day. Can't believe it.
Do you guys like my headline I made here? Steam Deck yearly refreshes equals no. I was like, how do I make this fit on the screen? This is the only. Did I just do a Trump hand movement? Like,
Yeah.
I think I did.
You're gay.
Phil, this one's for you and
Yeah,
me
it
more
makes
so.
me sad. It makes me sad.
No. This one's good. This one's good.
No, it's sad.
Insider Gaming says Life is Strange developer don't nod facing layoffs. I'm just kidding. Just to preface this, I don't want anyone to ever lose their jobs. I just dislike Life is Strange. Okay. Don't nod. The developers behind Life is Strange and the upcoming Lost Records Bloom and Rage is facing layoffs. The French studio announced on Wednesday that it was launching a reorganization project that could affect up to 69 jobs. Now, just for a second, if you're a company and
It's the
you need to
perfect
put out
amount
a
of jobs.
if you need to put out a press release, why specify it's up to 69? Just say more than 68.
So that way,
Okay.
that way everyone can say nice.
Almost
Yeah.
70 would have worked
Yep.
too.
Amid deteriorating results, and despite the actions already taken, the company is now compelled to consider a reorganization project to safeguard its competitiveness in an increasingly demanding and competitive ecosystem, Don't Nod said when reporting its latest earnings. This project could impact Dontnod's workforce in France and may affect up to 69 jobs. An initial exchange took place today with the employee representative bodies, and an information consultation process with these same bodies will subsequently be initiated regarding this project. Etc., etc., etc. Phil, suck it. Go ahead. What do you think?
I mean, it's terrible, man. I mean, they haven't made a Life is Strange in a long time. That's kind of moved over to a different team. But man, I'm excited for the new game, and this is sad news for me. Anything they put out, I kind of drink it in. So I hate to see this team get disbanded and people to lose their jobs that have created some pretty important pieces of art in my life.
Yeah.
So I saw the headline, and it immediately made me sad.
Bill, did you play Jasant?
I did not finish
Poser,
it.
fake.
Yeah, I know.
Fake
I know.
poser. I 100%ed it.
Did you? I did not.
Yeah.
I did not finish it.
I thought it was
have.
great.
I have played it. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's rough for them because their last few games, well, they had Tell Me Why, and then they've had Twin Mirror, which I've never heard of, Gerda, which I never heard of, Harmony,
Mirror
which
was
I've never heard
announced
of.
so long ago and took forever to come out for some reason. Sorry, but
Yeah, that's fine. Jasant, which I thought was great. Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, which apparently some
That
people
I
said
didn't
was
play.
pretty decent, but nobody played it. Koira, which I don't know what that is, and then Lost Records, which another Life is Strange game.
basically,
Man, there's just so many games that it's like, what the fuck is that? You know?
Tell Me Why
Yeah.
was amazing though. it was so much. It was a yeah. But I love
For the-
those narrative stories and games.
For those in the audience that know or that don't know, because I know we have more new listeners since Phil's been gone, but the hating Life is Strange thing originally started as a meme between me and Phil, where he loved Life is Strange, and I just used to rip on it constantly. But it's real too. At the same time, like I don't hate it as much as I pretend to, but I do kind of hate it.
Yeah.
But it was more of a thing with Phil. Phil's the originator. Like he's the protagonist or the antagonist to my protagonist in this journey.
He's the don't nod apologist.
And that's the series that I'm still buying the collector's edition to come with vinyl, and I will spend the new collector's edition didn't even come with the game. You have to buy the game separately. So
Are you fucking joking?
A lot
No,
of collector's
it's-
editions
yeah,
are doing that.
so,
Did it come with a code even?
no.
Oh.
No, so I'm like $130 deep into a game that's 5 episodes.
Dude, fucking shill. I'm just kidding.
But I love it. I love it.
I know.
It makes me so sad, which makes me happy. Like the
Life-
games don't make you feel good. That's for sure.
Well, life is strange.
You're really selling it there, Phil.
I love to be sad though, so that's it's kind of
So
a
do
weird
I, Phil.
thing.
It's okay.
It makes you feel alive. So
It does.
I don't like to be sad in my real life. So I think I like art to make me sad, so that I can feel those feelings without having to deal with it.
Wow.
So that's
No, I feel
yeah. But
bad.
this story made me really sad. I hate when studios lose their jobs, but especially when it's a team that created things that I love so much.
Maybe if they just made better games, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, well.
I'm guys. I need to stress again. I'm kidding. I don't want anybody to lose their jobs, but I am gonna say it again. Yeah, sucks. Their games suck. So
But most of them haven't even played the new Life is Strange because they don't make it anymore. So Deck
the
Nine's
newest,
taken
the,
over.
the newest. I mean, I know Deck Nine's doing it, but
Yeah.
the new the Lost Records one. I think
Lost
Dontnod's
Records, in it,
doing
but
that.
that's not Life is Strange. It's a completely separate
It's
thing.
set in the universe. It's
But it's
the
not.
same
yeah,
thing.
it's set in the universe, but it's not the exact. It's not part of the main line.
What's the catch in this one? I know one of them, their superpower was empathy. Is this one like hemorrhoids or something?
I don't know. It's about a band. I haven't. Yeah, Empathy was Lost Colors. That was Deck Nine, but or True Colors. True Colors.
No, man, no.
I don't know what the superpower is in this one yet. It's not out yet.
No,
so can't play it.
dude.
I'm sorry. I don't want to make light of people losing their jobs, but I'm gonna keep doing it. Not because of their jobs, because of the game.
Just
We could use a little empathy in this world.
yeah, just don't
my
fucking nod about it, you know.
Oh, I sincerely apologize to anyone.
All
affected by this.
69 of you.
Also,
Look, I.
Individually, we'll apologize on Discord to all six.
Yeah, True Colors.
I was kind of making a joke there, but I sincerely mean like, why say up to 69? Like that's just gonna that Ben from the HP podcast is gonna mock it, right? Like just say like approximately 70,
Or like some
more than
people,
68.
I don't know. You can say anything.
If you say more than 68, which that's now what I'm going to use, the 69, like you know what you're talking about. It's like
than
Mitch
68.
Hedberg if you jump off or you're on the 14th floor, you know what floor you're really on.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that press release released at 4:20 in the afternoon?
Yeah,
That's
Man.
right.
That's
That's
possible.
right.
It is possible. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
All right. Next one.
Thank God.
Dave the Diver's creator wants to create a Dave cinematic universe of games. This comes from VGC. It says, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Jeho Wang. We're just gonna say Wang is now the CEO of Mint Rocket, following parent company Nexon's decision to spin the developer off into its own independent division. You guys can't even not chuckle when I say Wang. How dare you?
Dude, fuck you.
This follows.
I got to interject real quick. I was
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a training at work, and we were won't bore you with the details, but the name that they used for the customer was Pengwang, and it's funny on a lot of levels because you say it fast, it sounds like penguin, but yeah. So Pengwang.
You
is,
just
always in my head.
can't. We could have done better. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry. Sorry.
Dave the Diver, which has sold over 4 million units and won a BAFTA award. Speaking to VGC at Gamescom Asia in Singapore, he said that Mint Rocket's new independence would allow it to focus more on game development, specifically the Dave the Diver IP, rather than pitching ideas and business plans to its parent. Quote, actually, I want to expand Dave the Diver IP itself when asked about what the future holds for Mint Rocket. I think that's every director's dream since we have a relatable character. But actually, we didn't really go deep into the personal stories in Dave the Diver because we wanted to keep the game very casual. So as a director, besides the story DLC that we're working on right now, I also want to make separate games about each character to show how they met, what they did before coming to Blue Hole. In that sense, the game's genre can be different. Maybe one day if we need to make a Dave's backstory game, we could make Dave another profession. He's always been a diver, so we really haven't thought about how we should move with Dave. So he wants to flesh out the story by telling the backstories of its protagonists and main side characters, etc., etc. Dave, the diver, you and I think, are the... I don't know if Phil did. You and I are the only ones who played this game. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, this is cool. I think one of the things that came out about this game was that like it was like an indie, but it wasn't really an indie. So to hear that the studio that developed this has gotten a little bit closer to actually being an indie is a good thing. And
Still got a major publisher behind them.
Yeah, but it you know, when a game like this is successful, it's always great to hear that there's more coming. But I have to say that when I was playing this game, I wasn't thinking like I need to know more about this character's backstory and their motivation and stuff like that. So I don't care as long as they keep making, you know, cute, fun, cozy games that are fun to play. I liked running a sushi restaurant, and I liked, you know, doing little dives for fish and stuff like that. And I thought the story was cool, but again, that's not the reason why I was there. But in any case, this sounds like we're getting more Dave the Diver-esque stuff, so that's a good thing to me. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to chime in with about this?
Yeah, I mean, I did play a little bit of this game.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, no, I did play a little bit of it. I don't know much to say other than what Dave said. I just don't know what the point is of expanding the universe. I'd love to see more of the game in general, but not to say they couldn't do something cool with it. And ambition's always good from a new IP. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Didn't they do a crossover with something?
Godzilla.
I was just going to say that.
Okay.
They did a crossover with Godzilla. I think they did a crossover with Balatro, and that some of the cards now, some of the face cards have Dave characters on them. And they did one other crossover, I can't recall. But they were all like limited time things. I'm curious what they could do in the future, but they certainly got a lot of goodwill for the game because the game was great and cute and fun. So it does stink that they kind of like, I think people unfairly targeted them during the whole Game Awards. You know, they got nominated for best indie game, and they were not an indie game, but like indie was more of a style, I think, than an actual independent. So I feel bad that they got some of that hate because I genuinely don't think that, you know, yeah, they had money behind them, but it wasn't like some AAA studio making it. It was still just a few people. So that's it. And that's all for the news, boys. That's all we got.
Well,
Godzilla -2 featuring Dave the Diver, Ed says. Yes, please. let's talk about what we've been playing. I don't know what order to go in here, really. Dave, no, sorry, Brandon.
Yeah, I'll
Let's
say
start
just,
with you.
Yeah, just do me first because mine's the least interesting. I popped back into Gran Turismo. I took a very long break from the game.
Like a year and a half.
Yeah. So I the last time I played, they had just recently added the weekly challenges to kind of keep the progression going. The daily run or whatever it's called that you can do every single day doesn't take very long. So the fact that they added something else, I praised it back then when they added it, but I'm continuing to enjoy it now. I'm kind of getting the weekly challenge in is that little extra push I think the game needed to keep you coming back and to kind of help with the progression because it can be kind of slow in that game at points. So yeah, really, really top-notch game. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The game's great. Polyphony did a wonderful job, and I'm glad they're continuing to support it. There's even been many new cars added since I last played. So I played more Vampire Survivors too, but I have nothing, absolutely nothing to say new about that game. So kind of a slower week for me. Biding my time till Call of Duty. I will be popping in the next couple days. I want to pop into 2019 Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, because that's the last one I own. And I want to brush up a little bit because I played about a week or two ago and I felt very rusty. So I got to get ready. The next podcast, we're going to be talking about Duty, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So I'm very, very, very much looking forward to that. But that's about all for me, boys.
Brendan, did you get a chance to play that game you bought at the convention I was at with?
Yeah. Actually, yes, actually, now that you mention it, I did play Fusion Frenzy. I had mentioned that I bought Fusion Frenzy, which was an original Xbox game. It's kind of like a Mario Party of sorts. It's like a party game. The games are like very, very basic. Let's say that. But it is a fun game, and I could see how back in the day this would have been an absolute hit if one of the boys had this. So, yeah, no, it's been great. So
Nice.
put it on the back burner for now, but I'm glad that I'm actually able to pop it into my Xbox Series X and play it. That's
Yeah,
a really
that is
amazing
cool.
feature that, like, I don't know. I feel like I completely take for granted, but it's really cool that I can do that. So
Nice. Dave, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Subnautica. Obviously, Subnautica 2 was not announced last week. I guess it had already been announced, but I guess we got
announced.
a lot of detail about Subnautica 2. And I realized that I bought Subnautica 1 last year, and I played a little bit of it, but I didn't really give it enough time. So I went back to it this week and immediately jumped into base building, which I hadn't really done when I had first started playing the game. And yeah, I don't know. This is the kind of game where I don't feel I need to worry about the critical path. I can just kind of exist in the world and go out and, you know, get some materials and then work on my base and then make some food and then go off and explore this other area and just kind of see what happens. And I don't often get lost in games like that, so I'm really enjoying my time with Subnautica, and also recognizing that there is a lot of room for improvement in this game. So, you know, Below Zero, I think, was more of like an expansion. So it's nice to see that the studio is going for, you know, we're going to have a full-on sequel next year, because I think there's a lot of room for improvement. And then even just having multiplayer, I think, is an awesome addition. And I know yourself, Brandon, yourself, Ben, you were both players of the original.
So-
and Phil, I don't know,
so
did you play
jazzed.
Subnautica?
I did not.
No.
Probably bought
Okay.
it. Yeah.
It's probably really cheap, but it's worth, if you're gonna play
Yeah, I'll have
5
to check it
hours or
out.
50, it's a game that's worth playing. So yeah, I don't know, there's just something about being in an underwater world, and it's just really immersive, and there's so much going on and so many different biomes, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. But yeah.
Dave,
Nice.
I gotta ask, did you get the knife that has the fire on it yet?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
So listen, if you do anything, okay, this is the most useful thing. I don't know if you're playing on survival or you're playing on passive where you don't have to worry about food as much or whatever, but there is a knife you can create that when you hit a fish, it cooks the fish.
Damn. That's handy.
That's what you need, dude. I'm telling you that literally, as someone who plays on survival, because I feel like that's kind of the whole point is to like, I don't know, if you want a super peaceful experience, like I get it, not that it's peaceful because there's shit that's gonna eat you, but like not having to worry about food, not having to worry about the whole like food management, it is nice, but like that's kind of the point for me. And look into, if you can, what you got to do to get that, because it completely like, it didn't make the game easy, but it just changed it in such a way that was like so much more manageable.
Right.
So,
I am playing it on survival, and the food thing doesn't bother me too much. It's just I'm constantly thirsty. Like I'm just always running out of hydration. But that's good to know. That's good to know because that would be handy. One other thing, I did make a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty substantial addition to my my gaming collection, both in a game I really wanted to own and a fairly rare game as far as I know. I picked up Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for my GameCube.
Okay,
And,
Nice.
yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this one because, as you guys know, I just I played Metroid Prime 1 earlier this year, and I haven't played this game. The only other Metroid Prime game I've played is the one on the Wii, Corruption. So this will fill a nice gap for me, and yeah, I know this was a very iterative sequel in that it didn't do much different than you know the first game did, but I just had such a good time with Metroid Prime on my GameCube that yeah, I'm really happy to have this and looking forward to playing. I will say one thing though, about, you know, I have free healthcare up here. That's great. But when it comes to buying video games, boys,
Is it free though?
in
really?
Canada,
Take it out of
You're
your
paying
I-
time.
I I have to struggle with the game art is in French and English, so it's half the size that it would be in the United States of America because you guys just have English on there. So I have actually found a couple of games that I think were sold in America because they only have English on the box art, but yeah, it's one shitty part about game collecting in Canada is you often get the bilingual stuff. But the only other thing I want to say is I keep meaning to talk about this since I've started game collecting, but these are so fucking awesome.
Yep.
Like just game manuals, full color game manuals with like enemy descriptions and like equipment description and all this cool stuff. Like I could read this stuff for hours, and we don't get this anymore. One of the first trilogies I bought for my 360 earlier this year was Gears of War. And the game manual in Gears of War 1 was awesome. Full color. It was super thick, just like this. And then by the time you got to Gears of War 3, the game manual was just like 2 pages and just like links to websites. So, yeah, we've lost something, boys, in physical, more than just the boxes. And Phil, I know you're a big proponent of physical even to this day, but
Big time.
Yeah.
And those manuals were just awesome.
yeah,
Loved having those.
big time. There's an ad here for Metroid Prime Hunters, Nintendo Life. Yeah, Nintendo Power, sorry. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Anyways, that's it for me.
Yeah, I bought a few game manuals for games that didn't come with manuals because I still love the physical, but there is something missing there from Too Old for Gaming. Bought a few of those. I think I gave Brandon a few, Dustin a few.
Yeah.
Because he sent me a few extra, and I got a great deal on the rest. So, yeah, there's something about them. So that's cool. I'll go next. I've really been playing two things mainly. One is I've been continuing to play Hunt Showdown 1896. Still infatuated with it, but this last weekend they did a new event that was 3 or 4 days long called Bounty Clash. And normally in Hunt Showdown you have this big map and you have to go find clues to figure out where the boss is. Then you have to get there and you have to fight the boss and you have to banish them. And then all these other hunters. Maybe you'll get some other hunters come in that try to take you out, or maybe you have to take them out. And the whole goal is to get the bounty and escape with it. Whether you have to kill everybody in your way or whether you just get out. With Bounty Clash, you start out in a very small map. There's just one compound in it. And the boss is already dead. You have to go in and banish it, wait for it to banish, which is a smaller amount of time. And all the players on the map are already at that one compound. So you have, if you like PvP, you have what you hope for in every game, which is a bunch of different fights happening, all happening every match. And the matches are also only 15 minutes. So you can't just camp out. And I mean, you can camp out to an extent, but you can't just sit around and hope that, you know, they leave, or you get a good shot on them, you actually have to engage. And this is some people don't like it, but this is exactly what I want out of this game, where I'm constantly getting interaction with other players. There's still the incentive of the PvE, and they're going to be doing this at least every weekend for the next month or two during the Halloween event that's happening, and hopefully they'll bring it as either a regular, like an all the time mode, or a mode that pops up pretty frequently in the future. Hopefully it's not just like a weekend event forever. So that's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast with it. The new battle pass or whatever it's called is really cool. There's a lot of good stuff in it, and they've introduced some new skins and everything. Which I'm not one to buy many skins, but I did buy one of them recently. Her name's Red Hood. She kind of looks like Little Red Riding Hood, and like if Little Red Riding Hood was in Bloodborne is what she looks like. It's pretty sick. The other thing I've been playing is Metaphor Refantasio. Played probably 8 to 10 hours of this at this point. And as someone who enjoys JRPGs but gets bogged down with them because there's too much social interaction stuff, or I feel like I'm a pedophile and I'm in a high school, or any normal stuff like that most people think. This game is
like I work at a digital foundry.
Bruh.
Sorry.
This game is it's really catching me because it's a little bit more mature in its themes. The combat is way quicker and snappier than games like Persona or other JRPGs. And I don't know, I'm just really enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. The dialogue is pretty good. The character interactions are great, but not too much. Like I want to have in a game like this, especially turn-based JRPGs, stuff like that, I want to have gameplay. And to me, when I say gameplay, I mean like fighting and action and stuff like that. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I love story, but I don't want to spend a lot of time finding the story and seeking it out. And this one just kind of, so far, I got like 90 hours left, but this one brings it to you, it feels like. I also really like the fact that it's just you have the turn-based, but you also have the real-time combat. So there's a system that tells you like if an enemy is a higher level, equal level, or enter in the turn-based. Because if they're lower than you, then you can kill them in one hit. It's just like running through mobs, whatever. If they're higher than you, you definitely want to enter in the turn-based. And then if they're equal to you, you can kind of make a decision on what you want to do. So far, I'm really enjoying it. We'll see. I know my longevity with JRPGs is not always that great, but if I play another 10 hours of this, it's been worth the time, for sure. And that was it. I think that's all I had to say. Phil, it's up to you. Tell us everything you've been playing for the last 2.5 years.
I was going to say, buckle up. We've got some work to do.
Just go back I don't know, a couple of months at most.
Okay,
or
we'll go back.
The most exciting things. How's that?
Yeah, we'll do the greatest hits. So I'm just going to start with a thing that I never thought I'd talk about on this podcast is Fortnite. I've played so much Fortnite, and me and Brandon were talking about this recently. I know he's a little tired of the Marvel stuff and the fact that there's everything but guns in Fortnite now. But I just finished this pass, I think, over the weekend. Got all the Marvel stuff. I want everything Marvel, so I had a lot of fun with it. Looking forward to see where it goes. I got a few things to do for the Halloween event to finish up, but a lot of time in Fortnite. It is wild though how much it's evolved over the years. Like from the time that
Crazy.
So, and I it's not something I'd ever thought I'd actually be playing, but I'm pretty much addicted.
I remember when we had the Fortnite podcast back in the day, and you were like, "Absolutely not! I'm not doing that.
Yeah, what an
I'm not
idiot.
playing that game."
I hate that guy. Yeah, he was the worst. I don't know. I feel like I just thought I'd be bad at it, but I'm not. So that helps. When you're not bad at something, it helps a lot.
Right. Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
So,
I haven't experienced that yet, but I'm glad to hear you have.
Yeah. It's rare now, but it used to be a pretty big part of my life, being bad at things.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of fun. I did play the first episode of the new Life is Strange Double Exposure this weekend. Won't talk much about it. We already went into the Life is Strange stuff, but I loved it. The story is going places I didn't expect it to go.
There's sadness. Shocker.
There's so much sadness. There's death and breakups and everything you could ever want to be sad about. So it's all right there in the first episode. interested to see what the superpower. I just kind of tapped into the superpower in this one. I'm not really sure. She had kind of a rewind power before, and now she can kind of see things that either happened in the past or in the future and kind of bring them to the plane that she's on or go to that plane. I'm not really sure. Too early to know, but having fun with that. Astrobot has been a blast. Probably the best platform I've played in a long time. Like I really love Mario Wonder, but this game has really sucked me in. Astrobot has been amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many little just nods to everything PlayStation's ever done, pretty much. But that's been a lot of fun. We talked about Outlaws a little bit. I definitely got into Outlaws, but I put that down and haven't gone back to that in a while. A little more stealth than I thought there would be in that game. It's an interesting world. I love it. It feels like Star Wars. So I'll probably go back to that eventually and dive in a little more. Let's see, Mortal Kombat 1. I've been playing a lot of. Having a good time with that. I wasn't really interested because I'd played a lot of Mortal Kombat the prior year or so and was kind of over it. And then they announced the Ghost Face and some other skins that I wanted to definitely have. So, yeah, that's probably like the best of the best. I've played a few other things like Hunters, Star Wars Hunters, which kind of was good for a little while, but it wasn't that deep. So I bought the first season pass, I think, and didn't really go too much deeper than that. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD remake. I've been having a lot of fun with that one. That's got to get Nintendo involved a little bit here. So I know
all over the
you're all don't want them to don't want them to go out of business or anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're hurting.
So right. So that's been a lot of fun. I remember playing Dark Moon a little bit, but it's the handheld thing, I think. So that's one that I never finished. So I'm excited to play that again and actually complete it this time. That's probably about it, but a lot of Fortnite.
Just like old times. I mean,
yeah.
Here Phil is talking about Life is Strange, Star Wars, and
Luigi's
what was the other
Mansion or
thing?
something.
Yeah.
Disney. Talking about Disney.
Yeah, absolutely Disney.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, some highlights in the Discord. Poot says, "Oh, Life is Strange talk. I understand why Phil is no longer on the show." And Edward says he died for this.
Oh, love it. You love to see it.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
The Discord is fun, Phil. You should
Yeah, I'll have
come
to-
more than once a year.
Oh, I do, but I don't get in the Discord that often.
Oh, trust me, baby. It's oh, hey, yo. Take
Oh,
it easy. Hey, yo.
YouTube. Sorry.
Yeah. No, they quit listening after like the first 5 minutes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I come all the time. Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's
it's all
never a
awesome.
problem.
No.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for the show. We're just going to call this episode 300, so we don't even have to figure out that. We'll stick around, and honestly, if nobody else wants to, just the four of us will probably chat for a few minutes since we don't really all get to talk that often. But for the audio portion, we're heading out of here. Don't forget, you can sign up to support us on patreon.com/handsomephantom. We appreciate that. And also join us in Discord at handsomephantom.com/Discord. We'd love to hang out with you. And Phil, any last words before you die again?
No, I just hope I get resurrected a lot sooner this time. This was a lot of fun. I'm
Cool.
happy
Yeah,
that
it
they
was
would
great,
do it.
man.
Cool.
Yeah,
So-
it was great, man.
Hopefully work is going to be a little better now. I should be able to do it more frequently, hopefully.
Good, man.
Cool.
Good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the main broadcast. We'll catch you later. Phil.
We got to get Phil on a.
Yes, sir.
You know, Ed says we got to get Phil on another After Dark at least.
Yeah.
After
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
is good
A lot of
because
fun.
we could just, you know, it don't
Yeah.
matter what the fuck we say, and then we just out of
Right.
pocket. You know, we're just flow of consciousness in the fucking. You know what I'm saying?
I will definitely be up for that. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, baby.
Phil, I've been sending you messages every Sunday for the past 2.5 years.
Where at?
Facebook Messenger. I don't have
See,
anybody
my
else to
wife
talk
yells
to
at me
about-
because I'll
football
do better
and-
at that too.
Yeah.
Why can't there be one universal place where people chat? I don't know. My wife will yell at me because she's like, "You get my message?" I'm like, "Where?" Okay, Facebook. Okay, let me. Oh boy. Yep. Yep. Oh, they bench Fields now, so that's.
I know. That one's a little.
I'm
big,
behind.
but
I'll do better on that. We'll talk football in there. No, that's I actually noticed when I got on Slack too that I had a message from you that was so old it already disappeared. So
We don't
even use Slack
we
anymore.
don't use
No.
Slack no more. So
it said I had a message from Dave, and then it was like, "Fuck you! You can't read this because you took too long." And
Dave's dead.
we need to have
You
the
didn't-
premium
you
to
didn't
be able to
expect
see
his-
that in
You
Slack.
didn't accept his MySpace friend request. His BBM
Oh.
invite has disappeared.
That's right, dude.
that's hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I will do better at the chats.
Yeah, most of the people who hang out in there are okay. Sometimes there's people who just like start talking about something. You're like, what are you talking? Like, no one was talking about this. What are you talking
Discord?
about? And that's a little weird. Yeah,
Radic
Discord.
is
Some of our Discord.
Radic. So it's weird because Brandon acknowledges the troll toll, but insists on paying it every single time Radic says anything in our chat.
I only pay it with Radic. And honestly, Radic is like popping off, dude.
Where is Radic?
I don't know where Radic is, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dave, but Radic is legitimately popping off. In the past year, he's gotten like quote tweeted by PlayStation and by the official Little Big Planet thing.
on Twitter,
So for like
right.
all trolls aside, he's actually doing great, like social media wise. So
Yeah, Radic started blowing
up.
up on social media and then just stopped coming to our live stream.
Yeah, he's too big. He's too big in the PlayStation ecosphere. We don't talk enough about PlayStation, I guess. So
We couldn't have gotten one retweet from him.
That's what I'm saying.
Bitches.
not a
He
single. For the
probably
300.
has retweeted me in the last 6 months. But
Oh man,
yeah,
good stuff.
Lazy Wizard says After Dark now. Not quite. Mini After Dark, I suppose. Also, what's up, dude? Radic has been saying for years he was going to cut us off. Yeah.
That's right.
Just you guys wait till I make it. You'll never hear from me again.
That's right. What's up, Christian? Good to see you in here, man. How you doing?
It's funny because I think at one point his name was LAZZ Wizard. Or maybe I just misread it and I always, like, in my head would say Lazzy Wizard. And now I see Lazy Wizard and I still think it says
Just like
Lazzy.
handsome fandom.
Handsome
Handsome
fandom.
fandom.
I gotta admit, I felt the same thing when I first heard of handsome
Well,
fandom. I wasn't
in
sure.
fairness, our patrons, the tiers for our patrons are, the top tier is called Handsomest Fandom with PHANDOM. And
No.
then it's
Right.
Handsome Fandom. Like, that is a thing.
Well, but I mean that makes sense, right? Like think about it. But that's not the name of the show. We just have god awful Western Pennsylvania accents. So
Yeah.
Phil, I've noticed you haven't put Lionel Richie's head on your microphone. You're raw dogging it.
Yeah,
Did it not come with?
It did not.
Weird.
Nope. So
Yours didn't either, Dave. I think we ordered it separately.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Okay,
So this came out of the box last night, and I tested it to make sure it worked, and here we are.
dude, it's
Yeah.
worked
sound
like
good.
a fucking charm, bro.
Good.
Oh, you're probably
like
still
that.
within the return window too, if you know.
Yeah, I'm
figure
gonna
it
use
out.
it again. I'm gonna use it again.
Okay.
Yes,
The plan is to use it again.
yes, absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. I'm almost done
Nice.
with my second beer, guys. This is only
Excellent.
two beers. I'm only having 2 beers tonight. That's what I tell the wife. Only 2 beers, only 2 pounders. You know.
The big ones too.
Brendan's living in La La Land over there. He's only gonna have 2 beers, and he has a wife.
Oh. Oh no! Oh no!
We'll see if he comes back. So
Phil
has
or-
Phil officially resurrected in the canon? For tonight. For tonight, he has.
Hopefully, a reoccurring guest spot.
Yeah, we'll see. What's up, Brandon?
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon.
Joining us.
I've never done the dramatic accent. Dave's done it before, so I feel like I had to at least do it once.
Isn't it good?
I panicked at first because I thought just refreshing the page would do it, and then I was like, "Fuck! I gotta go to Discord and click on the link."
I'm really glad that you did that after we stopped the audio version because now I don't have to edit it weird or anything. So
Yeah, no. I did it on purpose.
yeah. But as far as Phil goes, yeah, resurrected in the canon. He's canonically been resurrected. But the story has yet to be written.
Yep, we're still writing it. Yeah.
Hey,
Just
Phil,
like-
have you played near Automata?
Oh yeah. Way before most people. Yeah.
Way before Dave.
I liked it before
was
it was
cool.
cool.
Yeah. I almost quit it in the very beginning because the first
Yeah.
part's stupid, and
So did everybody.
then it becomes a good game after that. Yeah,
Dave finally played it this year.
it's a great game.
It was
What-
the whole thing. Yeah.
Holy shit!
I
it's
had to
7
give,
years
like,
ago.
Like an essay every week on what I'd done and what it meant to me and da da da. And I had people from the Discord coming to me to give me tips and tell me what
People?
to do. It was
People. Are you sure it was people and not person? A person was coming at you from the Discord. You could say his name. Is he in the room with you right now telling you to talk about it? Like,
That's hilarious.
Phil, did you see? You said you kind of saw it, but in the doc it shows our punishments for not
Yes,
completing
I
our
did.
resolutions.
Yes,
Both of mine are Life is Strange related.
right.
it's awesome. Dustin still owes me a Life is Strange, which he hasn't.
Yeah, he played it for like an hour one time, and then said he played it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Phil, we won't talk about it on the show, but do you also appreciate all the other things floating in between the show notes? And
I do.
And the punishments.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's gassing up his ass, and you know,
In fairness, he stopped when he realized he was getting filmed.
He's not just he's also cranking the hog.
he is. He is.
As
He's
one
pumping and
does.
dumping. Yeah.
That's right, buddy. We got some out of pocket shit. We got some inside
Oh,
baseball
man.
going on right now for the Google Doc. So
That is some good
Yeah.
some
stuff.
highly confidential Google Doc stuff going
Guys,
on right now.
It probably wouldn't have been that bad, but I had copied and pasted or copied the link to the show, and I went and pasted it in the Discord, and I almost hit enter, and I realized it was the Google Doc link,
No,
and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad!
Yeah, that'd been
I'm
bad.
so glad I didn't post that."
we
in
would have
there.
had to have
That's
set
too
up
inside
a
baseball.
new
Yeah.
Google Doc. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So when I looked at that Google Doc just now, I saw that I've got a bunch of messages that my dinner is ready. So I'm probably gonna have to bounce pretty soon.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's well, I think we'll all
This
head out of
was
here.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
really fun, really good time.
All right, man. Well, tell the wife hello.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
her
yeah.
for
Do the
letting
same.
you come on the show. Appreciate
Yep,
it.
yep. She was happy for me. She's, I think, more excited than I was.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Good. Man.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Would she ever come on the show and talk about video games? I don't think she plays video games, so probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. All right. I won't ask her then.
Probably not. Yeah.
All right, guys. Phil, don't leave quite yet. We got to upload
Yep.
your stuff. We're going to end the stream
Cool.
here. And thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the congrats on 300 episodes. Here's to like 8 or 10 more.
Looking forward to it.
See you guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.